Hello and welcome everyone around the world for another exclusive presentation right here on Your Contact. For the very best in UFO Paranormal Talk Radio on the World Wide Web, you're locked into KGRAradio.com. It is time, as we do every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, to bring you Grant Cameron and the Cameron Files. And now, your host, Grant Cameron.
Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world tonight. This is Grant Cameron, and you're listening to the Cameron Files. With me today is Jason Goldthorpe. Jason is a researcher and lifelong experiencer in the UK. Jason also is one of the people running the website theidentified.net. Here's my conversation with Jason.
Well, I got dragged into it by interest. I started out reading books when I was 16. Okay. And I picked my first books up by Jenny Randall's. Have you heard of her, Grant?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I started reading. Yeah, I started reading on her books first, and then as it's progressed, all this, I've noticed things that happened back then what were a bit strange, and I've seen some UFOs, and I'm still continuing to see them now, and that's where it is. And I've been following you and watching you, and watching what you're doing and what you're saying, and I've watched you today, actually. I watched you on Dreamland with Whitley Strieber.
Okay.
And it was recorded last August.
Okay.
I've watched it a couple of times because I like it. I've watched it a few times now, and you're on about Charlie Red Star and whatnot. Okay. And anyway, I've just got caught up in it, and it's like it's more than an hobby. It's like a gut feeling what you have into it with it. You know, after you've experienced something, and it's a bit more than that. And over the past 3 years, I've got more into the conscious side of it. Okay. And after TTSA dropped, okay, they done a big thing there, TTSA. So we got talking on Twitter with some guys, and we formed a website now called The Unidentified. It used to be called UAP Info.
Okay. I haven't seen it, but interesting. Yeah. So this is a Facebook site or a website?
It's a website. It's called The Unidentified.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look this up. So tell me what's the interest there? Were you talking about consciousness, or were you talking to the stars people, or what happened there?
Well, it started, Grant. I started out in October when the startup video was made. So I thought, I'm getting on Twitter here, and I'm going to follow this on Twitter and see what people are saying about it, because Facebook for me is like for family and stuff like that. And there's only so many people you can talk about this to people, and they don't understand it in the slightest. So you can talk too much and end up like a crackpot, looking like a, you know, there's only a few people you can talk to about it. So I followed To the Stars on Twitter, and after the 16th of this December, NYT article, and I got talking to a group of lads, Danny Silver. Okay, yeah, I know him. Yeah, I got talking to Danny, and we formed UAP Info. About 8 of us, we formed a website called UAP Info.
Okay, so who would the other people be? You're with the Australian guys, Dean and those guys?
No, not Dean. Keith Mayo.
Okay.
Adam Goldsack.
Okay, yeah.
It goes by Andreas, and a lad from Germany called Sven. Okay. And we run this site, and we've had quite a bit of interest in it, really. People's give us interest. We've talked to Gary Nolan and stuff like that. Yeah. And that's it, basically. I mean, we're just trying to get bits of information here and there and stuff. And I've had a bit of interaction with UFOs along the way over the last 15 years. Okay. So I would like to tell you my story and see what you think about it.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sure. Yeah. Tell me. Yeah. I'm very interested.
Yeah. All right then. I started off when I was 17. My friend just passed his driving test, and he said, "Come on, we're going to go out in the car all night." He was only 17. And we went out for an all-nighter, just driving around in the car. And we went up to a place in England here called the Lake District. And we was out in the car, and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. And we was just driving around. We was only 17, just like youngsters do. And we went through a little village called Ulverston. And we was coming out of Ulverston towards what we call the motorway, what you call freeway.
Yeah.
It was coming out to the motorway, and we come round this long bend, and up in front of us, we see a red light about 800 yards away from us, about 2 feet off the ground. And we all start making jokes, saying, "Who's out on a bike at this time of night? Are they mad?" And it was February 1990, this. And we said, "Who's out on a bike at this time at night? Are they mad?" Yeah. And anyway, we was getting closer and closer, and we realised that it wasn't a bicycle light. It was a light about 2 feet off the floor, a red light about the size of a Zumba ball. Have you ever seen a Zumba ball in a gym? What women use?
Yeah. Wow.
It was about the size of a Zumba ball, and we drove up to it, and we could see what it was. It was moving up and down an edgeway, about 8 feet, going up and down like tracking. And I thought to myself, that's looking for something, that. And as we get within about 100 yards of it, it stops, and it starts shaking from side to side.
Wow.
We start shaking from side to side, and the guys in the back are pretty upset. I've read about 2 books on UFOs by this time.
Yeah,
so I wasn't going to say anything. I thought, I'm not saying anything here because they'll expect me to give them the answers. So I was driving to it, and it started shaking at the side of the road, and then it took off skyward. It got to about 15 feet, and it dematerialized. It disappeared from it didn't blink out. It
Wow.
Dematerialized. It didn't blink out. It just went out from the top to the bottom.
Yeah.
And disappeared. And the guys in the back was pretty shook up. Like, we were shook up by we didn't know what it was. But I knew about UFOs. These people, my friends, didn't know what a UFO was. They didn't know the term or concept. And I remember, we all looked back, and it was dark, and it was gone. But I think we had a bit of missing time, because it took us about 5 hours to get home.
Wow.
But it should have only taken us an hour.
So you
to
lost
get home.
4 hours.
We could,
Wow.
around that time.
Have you discussed it with the other gentlemen in the car since then, or are they still around?
Yeah. I still see the driver. I see him every now and again, and I always said to him, I said, "Do you remember that night?" And he says, "Yeah, I remember it. Yeah." I only see the driver, and he still remembers it, but he haven't remembered anything else. But it took us 4 hours to get home.
Wow.
I'm thinking back now, and then I've progressed with my knowledge in the UFO field, how it operates. I've looked back at it, and I thought, something strange that. It was something happened there.
Yeah.
And
did your interest increase dramatically then, in terms of reading books and stuff?
Oh yeah. It went up. My belief system went up.
And what about the other people? Did you? Because I know with my first experience, everybody else that was in the car when I had my experience like yours, the first one, they all just went on with life, and I sort of fell off the edge of the earth. I mean, did these other guys the same thing? They just sort of didn't bother them, but it sort of motivated you to go and do this. Yeah,
it did. Yeah, it did motivate me in that way, Grant. But another thing, what happened on the night is nobody spoke about it. It happened, and nobody said nothing after. And I was sat in the passenger side, and I'm like that, scratching my head, thinking about it for a while after it all happened.
Yeah.
And nobody said anything. Only the lads got a bit scared in the back. There was 2 lads in the back, and they was frightened.
Yeah.
But I knew about the concepts and what had gone on in the past, and I've read a bit of history by then about it, and so I just kept my mouth shut because I couldn't give them answers. Yeah. But nobody spoke about it, and we seemed to have lost a bit of time back there.
And how long was it until you actually did you ever talk to them, or is it years later that you first talked to these guys about it?
Years later. I was only 17. When you're young, you take things and you go, oh, yeah, and you laugh and you forget about stuff, don't you, when you're young and stuff like that. I seen the driver about 5 years after, and I did mention it to him, and he said, yeah, I do remember it. And I've seen him every few years after that. I'm 47 now. I was 17 then. And I've seen him every few years after that. And I've said, do you remember that? And he still remembers it. And he's into UFOs now. He's got a substantial interest because I've spoken to him about UFOs after that. Okay. And told him about a bit of the history and all that.
Yeah.
And then I've grew up and I moved to an house with my partner and we had a child, and I got like a projection in my mind that I was going to see something. I knew what I was going to see.
Okay.
And I started seeing these like tablet craft. These craft with like a tablet, like round on the top, rectangle, like tablet shaped.
Okay.
And I started seeing them a lot. That started in 2005.
Okay.
And I started seeing a lot of them, and I seen them throughout summer all the time because I'd be in the garden with me children.
Yeah.
And the sun would be on my back, and I could see them high up. And then it got to a point where every time I went in the back garden, there was one there.
Wow.
And I've got about 40 films on YouTube of this stuff.
Okay.
Of these craft. And
whereabouts do you live in the UK?
I live between Manchester and Liverpool.
Okay. I know where it is. Yeah. Okay.
It's a little town called St Helens.
Okay.
And I live in a little mining village. It's an old mining village where I live.
Okay.
And it's a narrow village, and it's got like it's got green belt. It's surrounded by green belt.
Okay.
By woods and that. It's not a big village.
Yeah.
And these craft that I've seen, I've come every summer. And then I got a realization what remote viewing was. In about 2012, I went on web and seen what remote viewing was, and I seen Kit Green and Al Puthoff and Ingo Swan.
Okay.
And I thought, I'll try this and see if I can do the remote perception and look for him.
Yeah.
And it worked. And it worked for me. And the sightings went up. And I seen more of these things. And
okay. So what was the procedure that you used? Like, were you trying to talk to them, or is that what you were trying to do? Communicate with them?
No, I was trying to look for him.
Oh,
I was trying to see. I was like trying to forward my perception.
Okay.
I was trying to see myself on the ground, and raise my own awareness out of my body.
Okay.
And look above the clouds for them.
Okay.
And I'd done something because the sightings went up tenfold.
Wow.
What I had of him.
Wow.
And I do believe that it works. That because I do believe it works remote viewing. If you try to remote view him, you will see him, won't you?
Wow.
That's what I believe.
Interesting.
And so anyway, I've moved to 4 different locations after living there from 2000. I started seeing him in 2005. I moved in 2012. We rented our house out. We got another house.
Yeah.
That was in 2012. I moved to another location 5 miles away, and he popped up again.
Okay.
And then I moved again, and because we was house hunting, because we was renting our house out. We was trying to get some houses and accumulate a property ladder.
Yeah.
So we moved to the 3rd location, and I was seeing them again, and I was showing neighbours. When I moved to the 3rd location, I used to have my video camera in the back garden, waiting to capture these things.
Wow.
And the neighbours would come out and they can see into our garden. So I was a bit apprehensive about doing it. Do you know, in case they thought it was some type of peeping Tom or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was a bit apprehensive about doing it, but it's my interest. You know, it's a big interest of mine. after seeing him. And one day I was filming, and next door neighbour come out after her, and he could see into my garden, and he asked me, what are you doing? What are you doing with that camera?
Okay.
And as he said that, one appeared, and it was low down over my head.
Wow.
And I said, I'm watching that there. And he looked at it, and he was blown away. He said, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is that? What you're watching?
Wow.
He was saying, it's not a balloon. It's not a balloon. I said, I know it's not. I said, I've been watching them for quite a while now.
Yeah.
And it's just gone in very much like that. And now I'm at my fourth location, and I'm seeing him again. I see him all the time, and I do try to talk to him.
But you say only the summer. Can you explain that?
Yeah. Because I'm not really an outdoors person.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, and the weather in England, when it's winter here, it's winter. It's always cloudy.
Okay.
It's dark in the daytime.
Okay.
You know, it's
okay. I understand.
It's very overcast. But every summer, I can see about 20 different sightings every summer.
Wow.
I'm up to 20 different sightings, and so as things have progressed and people have come on the scene, you've got Gary Nolan and that. I've looked more at everybody's videos and consciousness, and trying to get into consciousness a lot more and try and understand how it works and stuff like that. So
did any of the, say, Gary Nolan or any of the other people who may be in the know to the stars people, did they give you any indication of procedures or techniques that you can use to make contact?
No, it's not been like that. With the NYT article, we got confirmation, didn't we? Like you said, we got confirmation. We didn't get disclosure.
Yeah,
we got confirmation, and it brought a lot. People like me, it was the last nail in the coffin.
Okay.
I knew it was case closed, and it was properly true.
Yeah.
And it was a real, you know, and it was a real phenomenon. And that's what I like about TTSA. People say this and say that about them, but what Luis Elizondo done there and Tom DeLong, never been pulled off by anybody before. I said, you know, nobody's ever done it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and it brought a lot of awareness about Grant. It brought a lot of awareness about, and so I started looking in. I didn't look into consciousness because of Gary Nolan. I looked into it because it seemed that was the right avenue for go down.
Yeah.
Now, get closer to try and get closer to the phenomenon. Even though I was pretty close, I did know about it. I did know about remote viewing and stuff like that. I did know about it. But that's the path I'm going down now.
Okay.
And my dreams are pretty off the.
So tell me about your dreams. What's going on there? I mean, did you intend to do this, or did this just start?
No, I intended to do it. I've always been into UFOs, and but it's over the last couple of years the conscious part has come more out with it, and it's connected more to the subject over the last few years, I think. So It's probably been longer for you because you're a bigger researcher than me. You've probably known about the conscious.
Yeah, I had the experience in 2012. That's when the consciousness started. Before then, as I make the joke, I probably couldn't have spelled the word consciousness, and I probably couldn't have cared.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. When I first got into the UFO phenomena, I was stunned and shocked by the amount of info that was contained in there, the amount of actual weird going-ons that had taken place, and that drew me into it even more. Do you know? Because I read my first book when I was like 16 by Jenny Randall's. It was UFOs and How to See Them. Yeah, and I was pretty amazed that it was a bit more than folklore. I think it was a lot more than folklore, and how it came about, and how Roswell came about, and everything else. So I knew that there's a lot more to it. So consciousness was the next path down. I've been looking at it. I've only been into consciousness for a couple of years now, and I'm no means an expert on it, but I think it's a natural thing. It's more natural if you try and do somebody else's routine way of doing it, like a manual. I think you're better learning it yourself than.
So explain to me how you use consciousness. How does it fit into the UFO mystery according to what you've learned?
Well, it is connected in lots of ways. Like when the early sightings was happening over army bases and stuff like that, the army people thought that it was consciousness, the way the ship moved and stuff like that. They thought the ships were thought controlled and stuff like that, didn't they?
Yeah.
So I've tried to use consciousness to try and find out if there's anything that I don't know about, if I can bring any memories out of myself, because I've had, and any memories that are hidden through maybe interaction. That's what I've tried to do, but look at it that way and trying to look at consciousness as to call the craft, so I can see them. Okay.
And is it worked? How does that? Have you gotten any answers?
No, I've not directly, but
okay.
But if I try to remote view stuff, that's part of consciousness. If I try to remote view these,
sure.
I will see them. I will see them. There's still a lot to learn for me. Like, I'm still learning a bit about it.
Yeah.
But that's the key, though, isn't it? Consciousness is the key now. If I bring it out farther than where it's at now, we need into that a little bit. I think, yeah. So I just start by clearing my mind. You've got to clear your mind and let the normal thoughts come through, and just let pure stuff. I use it a lot when I go to bed. Actually,
okay.
When I've had a busy day and I've got things going through my head and I've got stuff to do and I'm trying to forget that and go to sleep, and I try and I slow my thoughts down. I get to a point where I can slow everything down, and I tried, and I don't know. I try look into space and stuff like that. I try and pick space and encapsulate it. Like, but I've still got a long way to go, I think. But that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to get down to that conscious level and trying to get along that way. And
you mentioned your dreams. What's happening in your dreams? Are you getting messages or stuff, or what's going on there?
Well, I've had a lot of weird dreams. I had a lot of weird dreams when I was a kid, and they wasn't mumble jumble. They ran like a movie, very clear.
Okay.
And I don't know if there was dreams because I was young. I don't know if it's a memory or is it really a dream.
So what's going on in the dreams? Like, can you say your young dreams when you were very young, before you really got into the UFO thing? What's going on there?
I feel stupid sometimes saying them. Well, I don't tell anybody, actually. When I was about 10,
it's a bizarre field. Yeah, it is. That's the thing. It's a bizarre thing. It's
about when I was about 10. I've got this memory. I think it's a dream. I was in front of my house, in front of my mum's house, and it was night time, and I think it's summertime, and she's letting me stop up front because it's a bit later because it's summer, and I'm playing with my cars on the front.
Yeah.
And I look up the front of the house.
Okay.
And this saucer comes down. It flickers down.
Okay.
Yeah. It flickers down, and then I find myself in a purple room.
Okay.
And it's not like a room in any house. It's not got any windows, and it's got parts coming out of it, and they're smooth. And I look over this purple room, and I see my granddad in a chair. And he's smiling.
Was he dead then?
No, he's alive.
Okay.
He's alive.
Okay.
And I see my granddad smiling at me, and he's like nodding approvingly.
Okay.
And I look on the floor, and on the floor is like a tray, and it's about 4 foot wide, this tray, and it's got sides about 6 inches.
Okay.
And it runs about 6 feet, 6 feet along, and it's full of black like black tar.
Okay.
And I go for to touch this tar.
Okay.
Yeah, and a head pops out of it. A head pops out of it, and it's it's a head. And I can't see a body. All I can see is a head. And all this tar's dripping off it. And it starts talking to me, into my mind.
Okay. Like telepathic.
And telepathically, yeah. And I didn't even know, I didn't know what at 10, I don't think I knew what telepathic meant, you know. Yeah. And he starts talking to me telepathically, he said. And I can smell sulfur. And I don't know why I can smell sulfur, and I don't know why I remembered it, but it's the way these dreams go, I can smell sulfur. And then I'm talking to this head, and it's going on for quite a bit of time, and it's telling me it knows me, and because I'm getting scared, and it's telling me it knows me, and I should know who the head is.
Okay.
Who the intelligence is. And then some black figure walks into the room. It looks black, and I black out.
So okay, so is the head like an alien or a human type head?
It reminded me of like a mannequin, like a mannequin.
Okay.
Like a perfectly formed mannequin before they put the wig on and they put the makeup on. It was covered in black stuff. It reminded me of a mannequin's head. Yeah.
And it's telling you. And what's it telling you besides the fact that it knows you, that you should know who he is? Is there anything else? Is it anything else?
Because I'm getting scared. I'm getting scared at that moment in time.
Yeah.
I'm getting scared, and it's trying to calm me down. That was when I was about 10, that.
Okay.
And that was when I was about 10. And then, like I said, something comes in the room black. I just see it come in the room, and before I get a good look at it, it goes black, and I black out. So that's another thing. And then I have a lot of repeating UFO dreams.
What happens in those? Can you describe that? What's the general theme?
And I can remember them really good. They run like a film, like a movie. They run like a movie. I'm outside my mum's house again.
Okay.
And I can see things high up going over. I can see objects high up going over the house. And then next minute, they come down, they come lower, and they land. And as they land, I get a feeling of like a recollect something, recall.
Okay.
Like recall. But it won't let me see him. It goes black again. It goes black. And then I come round and they're flying off. They're high up and they're flying off on an ice stratosphere, on this stratosphere. I can see them flying off. But since I've been trying to do this, I've had them all the time. I have them UFO dreams all the time.
So how many would you have? Say dozens over the years?
Yeah, I'd have about 4 a month.
Wow. For a number of years.
Yeah, so over a number of years, over a lot of years then. And it goes weird because I've had some weird dreams, some weird stuff. I've seen a dead friend a couple of times, and this has been lately. My friend died in 2012, and I don't think about him. He's died. I don't think about him or reminisce about him or anything like that. But it's not him. His whole personality's different. It's not him.
Wow. So where do you see him? In a dream? Are you seeing him in a dream or where?
In a dream, yeah. In a dream I see him. I've seen him twice now, and he died in 2012, and I don't think about him because he's died, and I don't reminisce about him. Yeah. Even though I spent a bit of time with him. I did spend a lot of time with him, like through my 30s.
Yeah.
Through my 20s and my 30s. And I've seen him, and it's not the same. It's not the same guy. It's not the same personality of the guy who I knew.
What was different? How is he different?
His personal, the way he talks, the way he sounds. Just his whole dialect isn't the same. It's different. It's more. I don't know. It's more mechanical.
Okay, but visually, is he the same? Does he look the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but his personality is totally different. And since I've been doing this, trying to get into this consciousness and trying to clean my mind, and I've tried remote view and stuff like that. I've tried remote view places, things have gone weird. My dreams have gone weird, and I'm seeing UFOs all the time. Me, I can go to another district, like another, you might call them a county. We call them boroughs. I can go to another borough and I can see them in daytime in summer.
Wow.
And